So we're going to start the next session, and we have here, we have Toby, we have Taylor, and we have Mike, and I'm actually going to ask them to introduce themselves and the roles, organizations they work for, and then we're going to go from there. So Toby, why don't you start?
All right, I'll start. Am I coming through the PA? Can you hear? Oh, there it is. All right, thank you. My name is Toby Willis. I'm an engagement manager for Expedia Group. I'm looking after inclusive travel, so the end-to-end journey for marginalized travelers, helping us feel safe, welcome, and understood. And that includes people with disabilities and also people from the Latinx, Black, LGBTQ, and other marginalized communities. So that's my job, and happy to be here. Taylor?
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor Lee Aguilar. I am a Colorado native, very proud of that, and I also go back and forth between Los Angeles. I'm a filmmaker, director, producer, and a bit of a writer. I like hanging out with writers most. And I've been blind, I'm totally blind. I've been blind for 3 years, so it's still fairly new, but I started my master's program at Loyola Marymount University out in Los Angeles as a sighted person, driving around LA, and then in the middle of the summer of 2020, lost all my vision and went to blind school, fell in love, have a baby, and she's just about to be 10 months tomorrow. So, and then I went back and got my master's and finished that in December last year, and got to direct a short film for my thesis, and I had 4 blind people on my set, including myself, my boyfriend I made him my PA, and then I had a blind choreographer and a blind photographer on set as well. So it was a really incredible experience, and I just want to keep making TV and film. So thanks for having me here.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm Mike May. I work currently for the American Printing House for the Blind, and that organization does everything A to Z, from childhood to adults, producing about 700 products, a lot of printing and brailing, of course, but also orientation mobility products. I've been mostly involved in navigation the latter part of my career, accessible navigation. I had my own company doing accessible GPS. I was blinded at age 3 from a chemical explosion. And then I had a stem cell transplant and got a little bit of vision. So I went from 0 to seeing colors and motion and some low vision stuff, but I operate with Braille. I have a guide dog up here. I've also been very involved in sports, particularly Paralympic downhill skiing. And there's a book written about me in 2007. It was a bestseller called Crashing Through.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And none of us described ourselves, so you light-dependent people, hopefully we don't have to describe ourselves for you.
You know, we could start with that because I'll tell you, I'm not a fan of on the Zoom call. I'm the only blind guy, and everybody on the call is describing themselves, and I said, I don't want to hear it.
But what about for people who are like driving and just listening to the Zoom call, or like
it could be.
You know, people use their Bluetooth headset and just like walk around listening to meetings. So I mean, it's
It's helpful sometimes.
sometimes, but everything has its place, I think,
Yeah.
and potential.
That wasn't on Karen's question list, but
Yeah. No, we're going off script. We're going off script.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. Bring us back.
What information could destinations provide for blind and low vision visitors on their website that would help you guys?
Well, they could make their website accessible to start with. That's
Coded correctly,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, coders are important for website design and just having the feedback, getting feedback, and actually implementing accessibility.
I think the one thing I would like to see is, I think it's been mentioned at this conference, is transportation options. Like you often see like driving directions, but you don't see like public transit routes and suggestions for how to get around if you don't drive.
yeah, I think websites tend to be more accessible, partially because organizations get sued if they aren't. And there's a lot of companies available now to remedy your website, to analyze them and let you know how accessible it is, and then to help you make it accessible if it isn't. I'm a much bigger user of apps, and so that's where I really find it frustrating, because apps don't have to be made accessible because not as many people have been sued over it, I guess, frankly. So that's where I think I would really like to see them be more accessible, and when they aren't, I'm ready and willing to give advice and feedback. If you would crowdsource your app and get feedback, then somebody can fix it. But there's not really mechanisms in place to do that. It takes a lot of hard work and persistence to bug the organization to fix it. Now, I would have to give a pitch to Expedia, because when I'm doing my travel research, I often go there first because I find it's the most accessible app and would be a good model if anybody else is developing a map. Look at how theirs is done.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
I'm
I'm sorry, Taylor. No, it's okay.
I was just going to say, I'm, fairly new to all of this and totally immersed into it, and I'm still working on my tech skills. So just keeping that in mind too, that you don't know if a person lost their vision yesterday, you don't know their story, and if I liked what people were saying earlier about getting involved with your state organizations, because people don't even know. I didn't know that there was a world-renowned blind school, Colorado Center for the Blind, in my backyard growing up, and like so many doctors don't know about it. It's just it's really interesting. So just finding yourself and researching those resources is really important, I think.
And I think the question was like, what type of information can destinations share on their websites, right?
Yeah, but
So-
that can also include, that could also include hotels or attractions, anything that's helpful.
Yeah, I said yesterday, like, I don't require a lot in the built environment, but yeah, information sharing, like, I think that's been said a lot, I think for all of us, is really important. But yeah, like any kind of accommodation that's available, whether it is in the, like, Braille signage is a good example. Knowing whether or not that's available could be helpful. But also, like, sharing whether or not your staff has been trained is a good, like, it helps me feel confident about booking. If I see something that says, like, service animals welcome or something, that tells me that it's been acknowledged. It's been, it's not, I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to get friction if I show up with my guide dog, or, I think, so details about the property and the feature or the service is important, but also kind of ancillary is sharing with us what you are doing, the intangible things like training and, cultural kind of awareness issues.
I would sure enjoy it if I came into a front desk and they had a simple paper Braille tactile map of the lobby that I could look at. I would be so impressed if somebody did that. And that's cheap. That's probably, I don't know, $20 to have that done. It'd be inexpensive. I mean, restaurants have Braille menus, so why couldn't a hotel have a Braille map? That would be helpful. And then the information I really want is, do I need a key card in the elevator or not? Is it just a regular push button elevator? Is there something, is it an on-demand elevator? Is it different? Just being able to get the information that I would hope the person at the desk would be giving to anybody coming up there, to just give them a brief orientation to the hotel and to the procedures. Is there breakfast in the morning? All of that kind of stuff. Providing that verbal information would be great.
And on top of that, I think the fire escape and emergency contacts that are in the rooms, that could be, a tactile map could be really cool for that. And Braille, even though not every blind person uses Braille, it's still very helpful for the people who do.
Mike, you mentioned breakfast. It made me think I love to eat, so that just, like, got my wheels turning. I would probably eat more if I had help. So like sharing on your website like how to get help if we need it, well, I think would be
It's
a
a
good.
lot of buffet style.
Yeah, a lot of buffets.
Yeah.
And you have to like go to the front desk and
Or like at
ask for help.
resorts,
It's not discreet or elegant. It's
awkward.
it can be
Yeah,
super
those
awkward.
those buffets are the one thing in the world where there is no workaround. There's no technology, there's nothing. I mean, you could use Ira or Be My Eyes, but then you have to have something holding your phone because your hands are occupied, and then you're trying to get salad with tongs and all the rest of that stuff. It'd be a nightmare. Thank goodness I had help in the buffet today here, because that was not fun otherwise.
And that goes with training with, people who are working breakfast, that they can, hey, I got your tray, I can help you out, or whatever else. A lot of times they don't know what to do with us, or they talk to our partners or somebody who's with us instead of us. That's been a big issue of mine, because I do know what it's like to be treated as a sighted person. And it's a lot different, and people talk down to me or condescendingly or don't talk to me at all. And so really the training of the front desk especially, who they can just say, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I am the front desk person. Like, that is really important across the board, everywhere, even, especially in like doctor's offices. I know we're not talking about that, but that's very important.
I wouldn't mind just a quick sound survey, because I'm just curious who we're talking to. I don't really hear a lot of anybody out there.
Oh!
Yeah. All right.
Now I'm nervous.
Solicited applause, but how many people are from DMOs? Yeah. And how many people from Oregon? I knew we'd get good applause for that. Oh, we'll start going through all the states. Alabama. No, thank you. And is there anybody, how about from the hotel industry?
I'm Allison Rao. I'm from Marriott International.
Ooh.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Allison.
I've been waiting to meet you. I finally found you.
Same.
I've been waiting for you. Once you're done, I'm here. I'm coming out to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
Zach
right.
said you were going to be here.
Anybody from the airline industry? Ooh, we need more participation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cruise lines?
Yeah, that's right.
Ron, for sure.
We had some from cruise lines before, but no one here. Attractions?
Yeah.
How many? Just you?
Yeah.
We like you all.
Any other OTAs here? I know Susan's here, right?
What's an OTA?
Online travel agency like
okay.
Expedia.
Yeah, just you. All right, so let's talk about technology and hacks and things that you use to overcome barriers. You described a lot of them. Is there anything else that people should be aware of and should prepare to have in their destinations or hotels that could make your life easier as well?
I know a lot of people, like state buildings and state parks, have made a contract deal with an app called Aira, A-I-R-A, and it's supposed to be, it's a paid service where you get a sighted person to help you out getting around different areas or with tech or whatever else you need. And that's really cool. However, like I said before, I'm not great at tech. And so just, if you do implement whatever tech, just remember that having just an open phone line is really important sometimes too, or somebody at the front desk who just knows what they're talking about, because I don't think it's good to expect everyone to be a techie. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think Ira's a good hack for sure. It's a good Ira and Be My Eyes, and of course a lot of the AI tools are really changing the way we access technology. I think generative AI is going to disrupt digital accessibility, perhaps in a good way. I think there's a lot more on the horizon, but yeah, we definitely all have our like little hacks and workarounds and things that we do to understand the digital or physical environment.
I like to talk about the accessible toolbox. And I think the truth is that we probably need a wagon to drag around all the stuff we need.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of pick and choose what's appropriate for your situation. And there's a whole collection of things. Obviously, a smartphone is at the core, but there's people who don't use smartphones. So low tech is good too. I mean, that's why I'm glad to hear about a travel agent. I use one. I use every tech thing you can imagine, but I love having a travel agent because when everything goes haywire and you're on a trip, I call her. I'm not standing in the long queue to, get help at the desk with everybody else. I'm already on it. My travel agent's figuring out the thing, backing me up on flights. So I love low tech, high tech, whatever you can. I think it's up to each individual to figure out what to have in their toolbox.
Yeah, I think it's important to have multiple ways. Like, I think both are important, right, Mike? Like the low tech, no tech,
Yeah.
high tech. And I think integrating where you can is helpful. So like because technology's unlocked a lot of opportunity for blind people. And, like others on the stage, like I was born fully sighted and lost my vision slowly over the course of my adult life. So I functioned as a sighted person, as a low vision person, and now as a blind person. And over the course of those 20 years or so, I've seen technology, basically from 2000 to present, it's just changed so much in college I was carrying around like giant books, Braille books, and tape cassette players, and now it's just all on my iPhone just like yours.
And
It's
if you
much
didn't
more
know,
equitable.
Braille is every one page of print is 3 Braille pages. So,
It's bulky.
Yeah.
It's bulky.
And I would say too, just overall, I know this might not be on subject, but not to have low expectations, just to have a friendly conversation like we are human beings, because it's noticeable that people don't expect a lot from us.
Nothing is more debilitating than low expectations.
Or somebody saying, "Good job." It's like, I'm not a toddler.
I often say my disability is other people's expectations or perceptions of my own ability. So I think that's a good point.
Yeah. However, I will tell you a story. It was my first week of blind school, and one of my friends zipped in and out of the room really fast, and I was really surprised. I was like, "Were you just running?" And he was like, "Blind people run, Taylor." I was all, oh, like that was an ingrained piece of ableism from, just something that I didn't have low expectations. So I've been taught a lot